Oh, are we live? Can you hear me, Kenny?
But of course, can you hear me?
Oh, cool. Like my thing just froze, man. People deluded, I'm back again. Kenny, Ken, and DJB will be here shortly. How you doing, man? It's been a great day. It's been a great period being an Arsenal fan.
God, doing it again.
We have to talk about Gyokeres soon, my friend.
Well, the fact is the ball hasn't been kicked yet, so we just have to wait. And there's a few people in the comments in our last show saying that me and DG are a killer of dreams and we ruin people's dreams. Well, it's not too funny when you watch as much football as me and DJB has. We've been burnt a long time by prospective signings, prospective results. Bit like predicted grades, and we just predicted grades. I don't know. I know it's nice for your fans to get that buzz before the start of the season. New signings always give you a buzz. But, you have to be realistic. I asked a question to everyone on the panel a couple of weeks ago where they think Arsenal finished. So they think Arsenal are favourites for the title. In your panel, not one person said Arsenal were the favourites. I asked about the Champions League. Not one person said Arsenal are the favourites for the Champions League. Like, you get people in your comments who must watch a game through children's lens and must, watch things like... it's all going to be all right in the end. Everything gets solved. No, those kind of guys, Walter Mitty types. Well, the problem is that you ain't seen nothing yet. Because I promise you that every Arsenal show from the 17th of August is going to be the must-watch. Your views will go up. So yours, DJB. Lee's will go up. AFTV's go up. Because this is the season that everyone, Arsenal fans, all the stakeholders and fans from other clubs are going to be monitoring everything Arsenal does. From every win, every draw, and hopefully no losses. But I'll tell you, because if we don't win anything next season, it'll be anarchy. We're talking anarchy. It'll be hit the roof, opposition. You think you ain't seen anything yet. You thought the Wenger years were bad, where you had infighting online. And
you think you'll get to that next year, though, regardless? Like, best case scenario, we win stuff. Worst case is this. You really think that's going to happen?
150% is going to get like that because all eyes are on it. Everyone's scrutinising Arsenal. Everyone's talking about Arsenal. The pundits, Neville and Carragher, are going to started even looking at Arsenal, trophy hunt and nothing happening. The pressure's on. People think that other club success hasn't got the pressure. That's just a myth. It has.
Sounds like every season for us.
You may not have been in a competition with Spurs, but they still delivered European silverware. You still may not have been in the competitions that Chelsea entered, but they still got silverware. Crystal Palace won something we couldn't win when we were in the same competition inside of Newcastle. I'm just saying as it is. You got to remember one thing. I have no affiliation to any channel. I don't have any affiliation to the football club. I don't have any affiliation or any ambitions.
Just a fan that wants to win shit.
Yeah. I don't have any links with any of the sort of, Talk Sports and BBC. I say what I like. I don't care. No skin in my nose.
That's why you and DJB are here, man. Like, I've never want you lot to feel like you can't say what you want to feel like. Not that you lot won't do that. If you're happy, be happy. If there's reason to be negative, be negative. Me personally, obviously all three of us don't agree on everything, but I can't say you lot are doom and gloom. Maybe I just think you lot are normal football fans personally. But fair enough.
Yeah,
how you doing, DJB, as well, man?
Yeah, all good, man. Sorry, a little bit late. I
don't apologize, man.
I come off my own stream, then I had a phone call to answer, and you know how it is sometimes when you're on the phone, you just like when you want to get off, but you don't want to be rude. I've said it all along, guys. I don't think people realise the amount of pressure this football club's under next season. And it is under a lot of pressure, and with Gyokeres coming in the team, he's going to be under pressure every time those players set foot on that
everyone
pitch.
And everything connected to us.
It's a big cup. It's a cup match. It's a cup match, and it's going to kick off right from the Old Trafford game. And it's literally because the expectations, and on top of the expectations, I mean, people say, "Oh yeah, but I don't think it's so much about what players we've had in and what we've done and everything else. the expectations of this football team over the last sort of 3 or 4 seasons have been massive, because finishing second and finishing 2 points behind Man City is now, what's the next level? What can they
You
do?
flirted with it. You get over the line.
Yeah, when you're flirting with it, the expectations levels then go up another notch. And this is the thing. And then if you then add the money that's been spent on the football club as well, it goes up even higher. So pundits are ready. All the pundits are ready. All the reporters are ready. Fans from other teams, they're ready. You know, they're all looking at Arsenal now. What can we do? What can we do? Who's going to be the next challenge? What's the next challenge for Arsenal Football Club? What can they do? Gyokeres coming in, parading him in Singapore, and all the footage and all the media and all the PR you've seen behind that. You know, is it a good thing or a bad thing? I just think it adds more pressure. I'd have liked it a little bit more low key, personally. I just think it's.
Can we really do that, DJB? Like we're global. Well, every fan wanted a striker. We got one.
Well, the thing is with me, and Kenny said it as well, and me and Kenny are on the same lines as this. You know, the only reason why this guy is getting the plaudits he's getting is because Arsenal have failed to sign an out-and-out striker over years.
Facts.
You know, in compared to some of the great strikers that have been at Arsenal Football Club and some of the great strikers that have been in the Premier League, I'm talking about Andy Coles, I'm talking about Wayne Rooney's, Alan Shearer's, and all these sort of players. He's a good striker. He's a good striker. He's not a world beater. He's not world class in my book. He's a very, very good striker. He's the best that's out there at the moment. The only reason why he's getting extra hype is because Arsenal have not had a striker in many, many seasons.
And we've been dying for one.
And we're all desperate for one. As I said to you before, it's like wanting that new bike for Christmas and you getting it. You know, you wanted that new bike or that new Arsenal top for ages and ages and ages. And oh no, wait till your birthday, wait. And it's suddenly, and it's the same as Gyokeres. But if you was to really analyse it closely, he's a striker that scores lots of goals, but we're still yet to know whether he's going to be the finished article in the Premiership or not. And
we'll have to see him kick a ball in that, yeah.
And we've not seen him yet. But the reason why he's got all this kind of hype and all this behind him is because Arsenal have not done the right thing over the seasons gone past. So, of course, he's going to get the hype. And that brings pressure. Everything now is on this football team. And then, you know, if we get EZE and that, there's no more hiding. You know, you could...
hiding regardless of who comes in.
Exactly. I mean, you could have said in the seasons gone past, oh, it's because, you know, we haven't had this and we haven't done this and we haven't signed this and the board hasn't backed him and this, that and the other. Well, there's no more of them excuses now. It literally gets to the stage where you've got all the tools in the kit bag. It's now down to you as a coach and a manager to deliver. And this is why we're under so much pressure. And there's a lot of teams that want us to fail. There's a lot of the fans that are going to be kind of watching it very, very carefully from other teams, obviously wanting us to fail because they're listening to fans saying we're going to win the league and Liverpool are going to finish fourth and all this madness, you know. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I'm like Kenny. You just got to give it time. Seeing is believing. I can't judge these players in the first couple of games. I've got to at least wait till sort of December.
I always say 10 games for me.
Yeah, 10, 12 games. I always say 12 games. I think 12 games is about you know what the player's going to be in that time, don't you? So it's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one, and right from day one, and like the fixtures. I'm glad we've got that fixture list at the start of the season. I was gassed when I was gassed when that fixture list come out. I wanted some big games at the start of the season because it sets the tone. It sets the tone. You play games that you're expected to win and you win them, you haven't really learnt anything. Whereas right from the start with those fixtures, you learn a lot. I mean, if we go to Old Trafford and beat them, we avoid defeat at Anfield, we beat Newcastle, we beat Man City at home, straight away then you're setting the tone. You're setting the tone for the start, for the remainder of the season. You know? On the flip side of that, on the flip side of that, it could go horribly wrong, and then you're sort of thinking, "Oh, here we go again," like, you know. So yeah, it's a tough one for me. It is what it is at the start of the season, but yeah, I'm with Kenny. There is a lot of pressure on us next season, going into next season. Every game is going to be scrutinised, and if it goes wrong, it could turn nasty. It really could. You could start seeing elements of the Wenger days when that turned sour. It could go that way quite a bit, actually. I think it could get worse because the element of fan base have got so much kind of belief and love for this football manager that they probably didn't have the same for Wenger. So I think it could turn even worse if it all goes wrong, personally.
Pressure's a privilege. It can make diamonds or burst pipes. You're playing for Arsenal Football Club. And at the end of the day, you're just footballers. Like, obviously, if you're a doctor and you make a mistake, then, yeah, someone can lose their life. But it's not that deep. Well, I don't want anyone to crumble. I don't want anyone to be under any illusions. And I share you lot sentiment in that. But wherever way you shape it, by hook or by crook, however you do it, you need to win something. And I don't think you can have the rough with this move. If you truly rate Mikel Arteta and you hold him in high regards and you really think he's dissing the game, and not even just him, but you believe all the things you believe about the players, and we all know we're more than happy to talk about contexts and nuances around the team and whatnot. But then the flip side of that is, at some point, you just have to get over the line. You just have to deliver regardless of what's going against you. And we failed to do that. I think Arteta is a good manager. You need to prove you're a winning manager. If you don't prove you're a winning manager, then what are we doing here? I know we've got good players, but boy, go on, Kenny.
That's the massive difference as well. I think this whole situation is big in Arteta. But the thing about it is that it's come to my attention that there's a massive chasm between what you see on social media, your TikToks, your Twitters, YouTube channels, podcasts, to actually what's actually going out on the street of Islington. The reason why I say that is that I work for the London Borough of Islington, full of Arsenal fans. I hang around Islington a lot. Obviously, I'm based around Crouch End most of the time, if not all the time. That's that. Right. All the Arsenal fans I speak to are completely divided on Gyokeres. Now, these people on the street, they have no social media handles. They have no interest in social media. But they're just football people as well as Arsenal fans. There's a lot of them I've spoken to that are not happy with his signing, that they actually prefer Sesko. And they're not Arteta fans.
He's going Man United now. Apparently.
Yeah. So, but what they're trying to say is that their attitude is that they cannot perceive or envisage Mikel changing his style of play, and that the player that we couldn't get over the line, Sesko, is a more better player. Now, I've subscribed to that thinking, as you well know. I'm not particularly like doing a conga about Gyokeres, he's signing and everything else. I certainly don't do that since he's signing. I must say, you will
be join the revolution, Kenny, man. Smile for once, man.
I must say that video with AFC, I need to speak to a couple of people I've got a lot of time for about that video, because
that video is a bit mad, but I'm here for your place.
In saying that, it just shows you the difference between the people in the street, the people who go to Arsenal home and away, and the people you speak to who have concerns about this signing. One even went as far as saying is that when Man City bought Haaland, you knew what you're getting, because during lockdown, Dortmund were in our face. We were watching Dortmund. We've seen how he finishes. We've seen that he was a total striker, and we also saw a bit of him when he played for Salzburg, in the Champions League. So we knew what we're getting with this guy. He's still very much unknown. All we know is the stats. But in terms of only a few players, a few podcasters, Albert and Dan, are the only ones really been pushing for this. Everyone else look at the stats and thinking, right, we've got a gun set up getting forward. And don't get me wrong, in terms of like like the stats, you can't argue the stats. But my biggest concern is the conversion rate.
Let us know what you mean.
It's where he can like segue into where we play. I have I have a lot of doubts about this. And he'll score goals, no doubt about that. But we scored enough goals because I'm not giving him. I'm not going to say he's going to break records. I never once going to think that. But I knew with Haaland he would break records. I still have concerns about whether this is going to work. I've got no problem. I've got no problem. I'll debate anyone who wants to debate about this. I'll debate anyone who wants to speak to me on the phone.
Don't you feel like, because this is how I feel when I look at it.
It is what it is. You can't turn the clock back. I'm just saying that, I don't know, definitely got the right striker.
I don't feel there's we all know probably our first choice would have been EZE. We don't need to speak about him because he's going somewhere else. That never happened. We put a lot of groundwork into Sesko. Clearly what we wanted to spend and what they wanted never going to happen. And then you obviously point towards Gyokeres, which was, he's an Arsenal player, as you said. Don't you feel, I feel two things with Gyokeres. I feel there's not a single striker, even if you throw in Ollie Watkins, they all have pros, they all have cons. No one's 100% convincing in the same way of Haaland, as you said. But I think with him, the pros outweigh the cons. And what I mean by that is the biggest con is actually, for me, going into what you said about the system is nothing to do with Gyokeres. I think when I get away from the excitement and being silly and doing all of this, I can't tell you if you put EZE left wing or whatever, Rodrigo left wing and Gyokeres through the middle with Saka, all our attacking issues are done, are over, right? I do think there's an element of coaching. I don't feel we move the ball quick enough. I don't feel we create enough chances. I feel there's a lot that Arteta has to improve at, because I've seen this guy, well, I weren't watching Coventry, but he's bagged in Coventry, he's bagged in Sporting. Obviously, he might struggle and he might have some issues of his own, but I would be looking at Arteta. But you mentioned the system, and I agree with you with what you're saying about the system and that players, you want to see players brought in that kind of fits around the manager. But we've called for Arteta to evolve and be different and all of these kind of things. Surely that's a benefit, because Gyokeres ain't on paper what we'd want. I personally have seen enough in his general play to completely believe in the guy. But surely the fact that he ain't an Arteta signing, quote unquote, on paper, surely that is more. Surely that's a positive if you look at it a different way.
Yeah, I mean, the positive there is this guy scores goals. Now let's not take that.
Channels dropped into midfield.
This guy scores goals, whether he scores goals in the Portuguese league, whether he scores goals in the Championship. A goal scorer is a goal scorer, no matter where he scores the goals. And this guy scores goals. So on that stat alone, he's the best that we could have brought to the club. If you're telling me to bring a striker at the club, then Gyokeres was on everyone's lips. Go get him. Go get a Gyokeres. And I've said this all along. Any striker that does not get the service, and I'm looking at strikers like Harry Kane when I've seen him play for England and he's not had the service. I've seen him play at Tottenham when he's not had the service. So if we're talking about strikers, and I mean top strikers, you've got to put Harry Kane in that bracket. Even Harry Kane in the wrong system does not score goals, because what you'll see him do is come deep. He will then go out on the left. He then tries to pick the ball up. He tries to create things for himself. And I think this is the worry that people have got. It's not so much Gyokeres the player. It's Arsenal, like Arteta. It's whether he's got the capabilities of adapting the game around this player. And it is exciting if he can. But I've said it all along, DG, that I believe you've got to build a team around this guy. And people are going to go, that's madness. You build teams around the players like Henry, and you build teams around players like Bergkamp, and you build teams around players like Zidane. And, it's not the fact that he's an absolute world-class player. It's the fact that he's a goal scorer, and we haven't had one. So you've got to build a team around him. You've got to build the team around him. You've got to fit a style of play to get this guy scoring goals. Because when he was in Portugal, when he was playing for the team in Portugal, the whole system was built around him. That's why he bagged so many goals. You know, it wasn't because it was so necessarily a farmers league and all of this malarkey. It's because the system they played was built around him. And that's what we've got to do. So the next question then you've got to ask is Arteta willing to do that? Is he willing to build the team around him?
Is he necessarily first choice ahead of Kai, which I think is a bit mad? I think you need to start my man, but fair.
Right. So DG, and then that's the next part of my question is the only way they're going to build the team around this guy to get him scoring goals is to be ruthless. Now, is the manager ruthless enough to do that? And what I mean by that is he prepared to make Kai Havertz a squad player? Is he prepared to drop the captain? Is he prepared to play Wanyeri in more central role? Is he prepared to play Max Dowman and Wanyeri together? Is he prepared to, do you know what I mean? And all these questions you have
to things that we don't expect, be random, evolve.
All these questions you have to ask because he's not done it in the past. So what I think Kenny's trying to allude to, and what a lot of Arsenal fans that don't follow social media and haven't got channels that are just out there in the streets as laymen's, if you like, is these are their concerns. Their concerns is not this guy's ability. The concerns are we willing to change the way we play to fit this guy the way he scores goals? And this is what I'm saying. And these are the question marks. So when it gets back to Sesko, the reason why he wanted Sesko is because he didn't have to think about changing the way he plays. He didn't have to think about being ruthless and dropping Kai Havertz. He could have incorporated him in the side. He could have had Sesko as putting him out on the left. He could have Havertz in the middle. So he didn't have to think about all these things. Whereas with this guy, he's got to do his own work. He's got to think about all of this. And I've said it all along. You've got to build the team around him. You have to build the team around him. Whether you like it or not, if you want this guy to score 30, 40 goals that I'm hearing fans say, oh, he'll score 30 plus goals, he'll get 40 goals.
Get me my 15, 20 in the league. We take it from there, man.
The great Henry, I think, only scored about 24 goals in a season. Do you know what I mean? 24, 25. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying, Premier League goals. So what I'm trying to say is these are the question marks. The question marks is not the player. It's not Gyokeres.
You're at the mercy of the system.
We know what Gyokeres can do. Gyokeres is a goal scorer.
All the attackers, to be fair.
Goal scorers know where the goal is, whether you put them in any league. If they're an out-and-out goal scorer, they'll score goals. It's not Gyokeres the man. It's the man in charge. Is he going to be ruthless enough? And this is what I keep alluding to. He's got to be ruthless. He's got to make changes. And we've got to find a way to be more creative. We're one-dimensional at the moment.
These are the things that need to change.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're relying on Saka and Odegaard. Well, if Odegaard is off form again and they lock down Saka, 2-3 man on Saka, which a lot of teams do, you're really struggling to find where the other bit of creativity is coming from. And this is why it's important that we do all this. We have to get more creative. And if we do sign EZE, if we play him as a left winger, it's absolutely going to crucify him. Any Crystal Palace fan will tell you EZE on the left is just bang ordinary at best. That's not his position. If we're signing EZE to sort out the left-hand side, it's going to be another huge mistake in Arteta's book.
We don't think if EZE plays on the left and Odegaard's through the middle, there's scope to rotate in game and do all those cute and clever things.
Possibly, but he's not gonna play Odegaard in the middle because he would have done that by now, and he hasn't done that. That's why he promised Wanyeri will get game time in more central. He hasn't done that. See, any manager don't have favourites. Any manager is willing to gamble and take chances. And by
is that true? Is that true though? I hear you, but managers do have favourites, surely.
Manager, I'd like to think they don't.
They'd have to be like in the present day, like Rodri and those kind of players. But surely,
yeah, I'd like to think they don't. But you have to take chances. Sometimes you have to, you know, you have to be ruthless. And you know, I've said it. If EZE does come in, I'd put him straight in the 10. I'd put him straight in the 10. EZE for me would go straight in the 10. I'd be really worried. If I was Odegaard, he should be really worried if EZE comes into this team. 100%. And that's nothing against Martin Odegaard. It's just the way I see it.
You got to protect your shirt now.
But yeah, exactly. But as I said, unfortunately, not unfortunately, you've got to build the team around this guy. You have to build some sort of system to suit the way he plays. And I don't think the manager's going to do that. I really don't think the manager's going to do that. I hope he does, but we will see. We will see. If he doesn't, then Gyokeres will get very frustrated and he won't score the goals that everyone thinks he's going to score.
Fair. Do you think he plays tomorrow? Obviously against Spurs, for those who don't know what I'm talking about in the chat.
I hope he don't, personally. I hope he don't.
Why? You don't want to see him?
No,
we're here now, man.
No. I don't think it's the right. I don't think it's the right type of game for him to start. I think it'd be a little bit.
Or a little 20 minutes.
I think there's too much spice in an Arsenal and Spurs game, whether it's a friendly or not. I think there'd be a few tackles going in. It's not the sort of game I'd start risking, because you got to remember you're risking him. If he plays against Tottenham and Romario or sort of someone like that goes flying into him and he comes out with an injury, then what? He's
tough as old boots, man.
Well, this is it. Well, I don't know, but I mean, I wouldn't. I'd probably wait for the Emirates Cup and bring him on there. And not only that, why give the Spurs manager some idea of how he plays before a league game? Why give him notes?
Or the whole league, really.
Keep him locked away. Don't give the opposition manager, our rivals, of any idea how this guy performs. Let him think about it. You know, I think if you play him tomorrow, you could be risking injury. What are you going to gain by playing him tomorrow, apart from the big build-up and glam and Arsenal fans waving shirts and queuing up outside hotels and PR and all this madness? What are you going to gain by it? It don't
some level of minutes, man, because he ain't trained with no one with sport boys. Well, yeah, he's behind in preseason. This is why I don't think he'll start the season.
He's got time to get minutes. As you said, he's a fit man. He looks after himself. He's got training sessions. He's got time to play in the Emirates Cup. He can play games in the Emirates Cups. He's got time. I don't think you need to risk him playing tomorrow. For what? For the fans' sake? For PR purposes? Let's be honest. What's on this game tomorrow? It means nothing to me. I'm not going to lose sleep if we win or lose tomorrow, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just, there's not even bragging rights, but some level of bragging rights just because it's Arsenal, Spurs and things of that ilk. Like, and it does make me think generally about the status of the team. Like, I'll talk about Magalhaes in a minute, but I don't expect, obviously, Gyokeres could be, I think with Gyokeres, it depends how fit that they've looked at him. He could be fitter than they expected. He could be worse. But to me, as a naive fan, on paper, the way it's going, I don't think you start against Man United. Madueke wanted to be over there in Singapore and Hong Kong. He's not there. I don't think you're going to start. I didn't think Mascara was going to start anyways. And then you throw in Gabriel Magalhaes. It does make me kind of think about what is my team going to look like in a couple of weeks against Man United. But we've got a long way to go. You not feel above everything? This man's mentality could see him through. I know mentality can't take you far, but he done everything to get this move. He's taken the number 14. I don't know if you lot have watched the interview and things, but even when they're just asking him simple questions like last minute winner or a hat trick, he's saying a hat trick. I just feel there's a desire in him. And at 27, you've had good moments in your career. You've had bad. This is kind of as good as it gets being at Arsenal. It's win now mode sort of thing. Like, is there any upside around this signing beyond the obvious, you know?
Look, it's caused a lot of, there's an upside for a financial point of view, because I hear his shirts are selling like hotcakes.
Crash the website.
Yeah. So that's good for the club in terms of a business point of view, you know. So there's a lot of exciting people, you know. A lot of people talk been talked into thinking that the reason why we didn't win the league is because we hadn't had a striker. Not
that was one of the reasons, not the reason.
Not because that we just spit short, and in the big games we just don't. We're not very good at the pressure games. That's why we haven't won the trophies that we should have won. But in terms of how it's going to go, look, everyone's got a right to be excited. But I do second what you guys have said in terms of maybe the games at Highbury, the Emirates game and the friendly is probably a good time to sort of introduce him. Mind you, I wouldn't say no to if he played against Spurs. He's out there training, but it's one of those things where you're going to play people ahead of schedule. I noticed when I was down, so I wasn't there for a long time. I heard a bit about Max Dowman. People talking about him. Were you mentioning him? Because I know, a lot of people.
What, tomorrow?
No, in general, a lot of people in the fan base are saying that he's going to be the next big thing, that he should be starting games next season.
Well, let's calm down a bit with him, tiny bit.
You know what I want to say to that? I'm just being honest with a football thing. I ain't got time for it to have a look at kids, where they're going to be good players or not. No, it's not an insult to him. We have to have
quality generational.
No, it's not even. I don't even want to hear his name. I just want us to concentrate on what we need to do, which is Operation Success, Operation Immediate Success, and ultimately trophies. I hear that. I don't want to hear about bringing him on. Arsenal have to win something this season. If he's good enough, he plays. If he's not, if we're looking at him and saying, yeah, if we want to have a look at him, see, and it's excite us. I said, yeah, that's fine. That's great. But is he going to help us win a trophy? I don't think he can. So if he can't help us, then he doesn't play.
I'll throw him out there for 20 minutes, man. I must admit.
No,
I think by the time he's 17, we've got to play him.
We're not about that. This isn't the stuff we had on the Wenger. We're blooding all these class, saying,
Yeah, but Kenny, Saka's not playing 90 minutes tomorrow. Martinelli. Half this team is not playing 90 tomorrow.
By all means, on the pre-season games, by all means, do that. When we get to Spurs tomorrow, when the games in Highbury in the Emirates Cup and the games. And again, the friendly match as well. But when it comes to the 17th of August, this is where we've got to be serious. Really serious.
Yeah, he's not going to be in the squad.
Look, I want to have him in the squad. I want players who can help me win the title in the squad. I want players who can help me win the Champions League in the squad. I want players who can help me win domestic cups in the squad. We've had our play years now. The year before you do your GCSEs or A levels,
you do mocks and that.
That's preparation, and you'll form. Your teacher gives you a bit of leeway, and then when you get into the year when you're taking your A levels, your GCSEs,
there's no time to fuck about.
They say no time to F up now. You've got to concentrate. This will go towards you getting a good mark. This will go towards you getting an A or a B. This will go towards the marks you need to go university. That's how this season is going to be as well. No experimentation, no getting excited, no thinking,
people on borrowed time now, man. I need to get off the line.
He's got your players who are, if he's good enough to start and he proves me wrong, fine. But if you want him in just because you want to, and help his development, then no, I'm not for that at all. I'm not for it at all. I've seen many a kid come on when they're 15, 17, 18 who look brilliant, but it's when they get into their 20s, this is where their career starts. Very few of them will make the mark. I'm not saying he won't make the mark. But
no, that's a reality, man. Because for every Cesc Fabregas, Rooney, not necessarily in terms of ability, there's many. Like there's James Vaughan of Everton, guys that make their Makeda that are 16, 17. Exactly. And they're nowhere to be seen. Personally, I don't think that will be it with him, but I do agree with the fact of you saying that we need to calm down. We need to kind of, he's young, he's developing. There's probably a lot happening. He's captained R18. He's played for the 21s. He trains with the first team. Everything is happening naturally. He will get his appearances. And I think he'll make his debut in every competition. I'm generally honest from now till next season. So I'm not worried about that. But I do agree with what Kenny's saying and DJB in that. The youth thing is kind of great. Deliver now. Everything needs to be geared towards now and what we're doing type of thing. I think he'll play tomorrow. I think he will, but
it's 100%. There's no there's nowhere to hide now. I mean, apparently now, according to a lot of the fan base, we've strengthened. We've got strength in depth. The squad's stronger, and all this and everything.
You not feel that? Do you feel that, DJB?
No,
because that's something I was speaking about earlier about the stronger squad.
I don't personally. I mean, EZE coming into the team would change a lot of how I feel we are set up at the moment. But the fact of the matter is if you was to actually look at it, players like for like, and go through what we needed, and when you're talking about winning premierships and Champions League, you have to step up in class in huge areas. And have we really done that, honestly?
I think only 2.
Yeah, possibly only 2, So, and when you think we've only stepped up in two areas, at the end of last season, we were saying, oh, we need 6, 7 players. We need players that are going to come in and really make a lot of difference. The fact of the matter is, a lot of our squad are only sort of players that you've kind of...
There's more questions than answers, really.
You're bringing in to sort of sit on the bench and be squad players. We shouldn't be in that position. We should be bringing players in. We should have brought in players in that are actually...
needle movers.
Like for like, that are as good as anything else on the pitch, where players are looking over their shoulder being challenged. Is Norgard going to really challenge Rice? Is Marino really going to challenge Zubimendi and players like this that we've got? Not really. Squad player. Why are we messing around with squad players when we need to win the Premier League and the Champions League?
But some would say we needed depth, though, DJB. That's what some would say.
Well, there's depth and there's depth, isn't there? I mean, if you've got the likes of EZE, Odegaard, and people like that, then that to me is depth. If you've got the likes of, all I'm saying is, if you look at our midfield right now, Rice, God forbid, and Zubimendi get injured.
God forbid.
You've got an engine room of Norgard and Marino. Well, there you go.
Boy, we'd be in trouble. We would be in trouble. We'd be in big trouble.
See, this is what I'm saying. See, and this is where a lot of the fan base go wrong. They look at them. They're always in the moment. They're always in the moment. Oh, look what we've got. We've got this, and we're signing this. And
you're negative. No, I'm just looking at the whole chess piece.
And everything else goes by the wayside. They don't actually sit down and think, hang on a minute. Rice is injured. Zubimendi's suspended. We're going to Anfield, and we've got Marino and Norgard in midfield.
This is a horrible scenario, DJB. Even though you're not lying, this is horrible.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, we get carried away, don't we? We've been carried away with a Gyokeres.
Kai would go in midfield. He'd have to.
We're carried away with the shirt sales. We're carried away with all the videos that are going on in Singapore and this.
Kenny's carried away with the celebration.
Yeah, we're all getting carried away with a silly celebration that me and Kenny refused to do.
You're not lighting up, man. You'll be doing this when he scores at Wembley, man.
Right? But
it's cringy. It's cringy.
Exactly. But when you sit down,
it's nowhere near as cringy as that North London Forever thing, man. This is actually wavy.
That is the cringiest thing I've ever heard.
Exactly.
It's the worst song. It's rubbish. It's garbage.
But when you sit down and think about it, we knew the injuries we had last season. We was decimated with injuries last season. Right. What's going to change this season? Because Saka's still going to play pretty much every game. Saka's going to be expected to work off the ball, defend, work the channel up and down, up and down, up and down. He ain't going to change Saka. He ain't going to say to Saka, look, I don't want you doing that. I want you in the final third. That's where I want you doing damages. Because I want to see Saka score more goals next season. I don't want to see him doing all this madness off the ball and everything else. I want to see him Salah-like, if you like, in the final third.
This is where Arteta has to gamble and evolve slightly.
Supporting Gyokeres, but he ain't going to. So what? I don't know where people think that we're not going to get injuries next season. So when we do get these injuries, you've then got to look at these so-called players that you believe we've strengthened in to come and do a job. And when I point it out to you, no Zubimendi, no Rice,
We're in trouble. Kai has to go in midfield.
Norgard and Marino. Where's Gyokeres?
I'd go Marino up front, Kai and Norgard in midfield if that's the case.
Yeah, and then you got Madueke on the right instead of Saka. Suddenly, Gyokeres seems pretty ordinary, doesn't it?
So then how do you lot like feel about the depth then? Because I do feel on paper, obviously Martinelli, Trossard, they could potentially leave. But at this moment in time, Madueke is here, innit? Gyokeres is here as well. So I can't say those areas are not stronger. Would I like better? Would I like stronger? Of course. But then there is this lot of kind of like, it has felt like one in, one out type thing. So it's like, have we really improved our depth? And it kind of piggy banks into what I've got on screen, where when Kenny was speaking, he said, Jalen said, we needed 6, but I think he means we've got 3 who would start. I think Zubimendi and Gyokeres start, even though the whole Havertz stuff, I don't know about if he's referring to Madueke, but where are you at with that as well?
First and foremost, I want to address a couple of idiots in there. And Anthony, stick to Formula 1. This other idiot, Alaoué Millisol. You're an idiot. You're both idiots.
In the chat, man.
Let me tell you something now. I can't be what I'm not. I know you. All right. I've got a fair idea of the podcasts you watch. In fact, I'm confident that you watch a couple of podcasts involving someone who populates radio, TalkSport, and you watch someone who wants to be on TalkSport. I'm sorry, man. There's one thing about there's nothing more boring than everyone saying the same thing.
Mix his words, man. We love him.
Podcasts, and the podcasts you like, it's the same thing. Everyone behind the manager, everyone excited, everyone doing cringeworthy.
You can be behind them, but be honest about things. Like,
the fact is, we're we've been asked on this show regularly, and we're regulars,
and it won't stop.
It's a regular show, and what do you expect? We haven't been anything other than ourselves. Simple as. Now, you may not like that.
And there's people that think exactly how you two think as well in that regards.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The American guy, stick to baseball. If you want to get personal, stick to baseball then. if you want us to go,
I leave American guy, man.
Because if you're going to be,
he said he's speaking about your reference to the other channel still.
Yeah, but but the way I'm looking at it and everything as well is that there has to be room for every podcaster. We can't all be like AFTV, where the AFTV shows everyone agrees with each other. Everyone's a mate. No one wants to have a proper debate. Everyone wants everyone wants their piece of the pie with the club. Everyone wants access to the football club. Everyone wants to be get that interview with Mikel. I mean, you had people who slag off Mikel Arteta, get them in the interview room. They're all got bullet point questions that they're allowed to ask, not to ask. What's that? What's the point of that? We should be able to we should be able to say it as it is. Well, hello, if you don't like the heat, then get out of the kitchen. Don't start something and expect me to just sit there and say, because I think it's an insult when you say I'm negative. I consider that an insult. I consider that an insult.
And it's just football, man. Like, people don't agree all the time. Like,
when I'm saying as it is, it's not personal. I don't think I'm a better fan than you because I've been going to football. But you shouldn't think you're a better fan than me because I have a viewpoint that's not yours. Simple as. You don't like it, it's your problem. I'm still going to be coming in next week on a regular basis, and it'll be up to DG to tell me not needed, not you. So, as I said, let's just keep it clean, keep your personal comments to yourself, and let's talk football.
Exactly. Everybody's allowed to think things. Like if you, that's it. Like not everybody has to agree. Like Jalen said here, we can't all agree. How boring would that be? Like Jalen's here all the time. Kenny's here when he disagrees, and DJB as well. Do you know how much me and Jay get at it all the time on my platform? But that's what makes it is what it is. No one's seeing the same things. If everyone's telling you something's amazing, for me, that's alarm bells. If everyone's being negative, for me, that's alarm bells. And even like me and Kenny might not agree, people, on something, but he might say something. I'll be like, oh, you know what? There's common sense to what he's saying. I didn't think about it like that. It's changed my perspective. If you're just feeling some sort of way and you're going around bare people that feel the same sort of way, and it's just all confirmation bias, you're not evolving as a person. Like football's a great game in that us three here on this platform, people, you know, Kenny could be sat in the North Bank, you know, DJB could be sat in Arteta's chair, I could be somewhere high, and we could all watch the same 90 minutes and have three very different opinions. So just bear that in mind. And most importantly, respect my guests, because they wouldn't be here if I didn't value their opinions and them as people. So less of that. But go on, lads.
Big up. Yeah,
yeah.
Listen, you have to have. That's what football's all about, isn't it? Different opinions, different debates, and I say it all the time. It would be boring, wouldn't it, to turn on every single channel and you got the same. Everyone was the same. Everyone was, you know, it'll be all the same. You got to have the debates. But I just feel now. We have got to the tipping point of everything. You know, whether you're Arteta in, whether you're Arteta out, whether you agree with the signings, disagree with the signings. The bottom line is now it's got to the stage where it is critical that we win trophies at this football club. You know, it is absolutely critical, not just for the fans, but for the players. And I keep saying it. These players need to taste success together, you know, because as much as we're all excited about new signings coming in, if this team keeps on going without winning trophies, you're going to be really disappointed when players want to leave. And I'm not talking about the Sinchenkos. I'm talking about the Sakas, Declan Rices, Salibas. Yeah. These are the players that I'm talking about will be looking to leave the club if we don't get success. And then you're then to replace them. You're not talking about squad players. You're talking spending more money. We've already spent. See, and this is another thing that people don't realise as well, is we've spent near on £1 billion. And we've got squad players.
3 of our 4 big money signings have been under Arteta, whether we shape it or not. Not that there's been many managers, but you have been backed. Like you might not have been backed all the way at times, and nobody's here saying KSC is amazing, but you've been given a lot.
£1 billion down the line, and we've got squad players. We can only think of 2 players that we've kind of bought in. That's an upgrade. £1 billion. And if you think that is a lot of money to spend, you imagine if we keep going and winning no trophies and we have to replace the likes of Saka, Saliba,
God forbid,
Rice. Because that is the next, that will be, if we don't win things, it won't be this manager's legacy, but the next manager coming in has got to rip it up and start all over again. And will he get that time to do that? The fan base won't give him that time. It's quite simply, it won't be.
Do you know what the sad thing is as well? You lot, whether you lot are right or wrong, you're applying foresight. But people don't want to hear that now because it's all new signing shirts, and we hope it don't go that way.
They want to listen to a channel where it's like, oh, Gyokeres, and we're going to do this, and
there's time for that, but then there's also time for this.
You have to. You know, you got to think of other things. You know, you have to.
Look, the fact is that, you know, this season is a very important season for us. But you know, the one thing that we've seen is that everyone, you know, was thinking that, you know, that there'll be no transfer news. That when the football season is over, finished in May, that's it. We won't have any content. We've had a lot of content because of the situation. Is that we've gone through the mill as Arsenal fans. Let's face it, we thought we were getting Sesko, and then we ended up getting Gyokeres, which I think the majority of people wanted. And then we got the kind of how do I say it? I think some fans thought the legs were taken out of them. You know the time when when someone pulls your chair away and you go sit down and fall over with this kind of Madueke signing. You know that's very blind. That's a blindsided signing. So we've really gone for it a lot, and then we've had Kepa. You know that's boiled a lot of boiled a lot of meals in terms of
I'm well in the pens, to be fair.
Another Chelsea signing, and then we had Norgard, another left field signing. So it's one of those things where this is the scrutiny that the club's going to go for. But in terms of next season, in terms of expectations, for this player as well, Gyokeres, I'll be very happy with him. In his first season, he gets 15 or 17 league goals and 8 goals to Champions League.
It goes right, Jalen. We're happy as Larry, but go on, Kenny.
Yeah. If he gets between 15 and 17 goals and we challenge for the league, I'm happy. And we go and that challenge leads to a win, I'm happy. If he gets 8 goals in the Champions League, that will tell me that it's highly likely that we'll go real deep in the Champions League and deeper than we went last season.
I mean, we was in the semis, so what does that mean? Does that mean what I think it means?
Those 8 goals can take us deeper into the Champions League. I'm not saying win it, but a final might happen. I'm not saying, oh yeah, let's all get excited. I'm just saying that those are the things where I think that's when I know that he'll have a really great season because of what he's going to help us do. Don't get me wrong, if he gets individual goals, that'll prove everyone wrong. That was not myself. If you can get 30 goals, I'm laughing. Because individually, that's absolutely brilliant in this day and age. But in terms of
I don't think 30 goals. I can't lie.
In terms of between 15 and 17 goals and 8 goals in the Champions League, that's a fantastic season because that potentially can lead to us going deep into the competitions we need to win.
So, Kenny, do we have a better chance of the champs than the Prem then for you?
I think so.
All right, DJB. I hope you're right. I won't have one, but
just before Kenny comes in, because what I'm trying to say is, I believe personally, the way teams are in the Champions League and how they play, this team is more suited for the Champions League than the Premiership. A lot of teams in the Premiership know how to play against us, and we can get frustrated with that. Whereas in the Champions League, I feel that we're better suited in the Champions League. And with Gyokeres on board, if he can chip in with the goals that we sort of missed last season, I think if I was to be a betting man and pick one competition where I think we could win, I would say that we've got a better chance of winning the Champions League than the Premiership.
I bet
that's me personally, because I believe our teams are kind of they don't play that low block. They don't really know.
We had less downers in the champs than the Prem, to be fair. And it just seems, I think we're just better suited in the Champions League. So I think out of the two, we've probably got more chance of winning the Champions League, especially with Gyokeres. My only worry is with the Champions League with Gyokeres is he going to play him in all the games?
He has to.
What I mean?
Kind of what we was talking about.
Champions League.
Yeah, Kenny, he has to, but will he? That's the thing. I mean, if we're the early rounds, he might not play him.
I think if you asked me 2 years ago, no, he probably wouldn't have. But the Champions League is a different kettle of fish now. It's a harder competition to win because it's 36 teams, and basically eight going straight into the second stage. The other 16 going to a playoff. So this game has got everything in it. The 8 games.
Every game's a cup final.
Every game you're gonna have to win. So he's gonna have to play in those games. But in terms of how we're doing in Champions League, I think it's a good time for any English club. You think about it, there's 6 of you. There's 6 clubs. Yeah. More importantly, Internazionale are probably on their last legs. They got served up big time in the final. Real Madrid are going through transition. Barcelona, you always think that they're a year away experience-wise for winning the title.
They're big
And
contenders. PSG are the big bad bullies at the moment.
Who's actually out there? Bayern Munich are a perennial, probably semi-finalists. But apart from that, who's there? Atletico Madrid, I think that they need freshening up. So really and truly, this is a good opportunity for any side. I think, and Arsenal have got to look into it. I think if you think about who would be my favourites in the Champions League, if I go 5 teams, I'll go PSG, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, and Chelsea.
Oh, they said Kenny's negative, and he just said Arsenal's one of the favourites.
Yeah, I know. I believe.
And the reason I really want to say it is because
throw DJB into that as well. People hear what they want to hear.
Arsenal have had 2 years of experience. They've finally got past that wretched last 16 stage.
Yeah,
they've met a couple of teams where in midfield we got beaten by midfield because we didn't have enough numbers. They've signed Zubimendi for the Champions League in order for that point. We have more control of the ball, more control of the ball, more control of possession, and we'll be able to impose ourselves on the big teams, not the teams that allegedly we should be beating, but we can compete with PSG. We can compete with, the big clubs who frauded us previously. So the Champions League is 100% our best chance of winning it. But our competitors and our rivals will be the English sides, the majority of them. Yeah. I'm not ruling out Newcastle. I have to rule out Spurs not because it's Tottenham, it's because I've only seen them sign one player. One player that's only come through the door. Yeah. And we're coming to the 1st of August on Friday. That's
new territory for Thomas Frank as well.
And Frank's experience in Europe as well.
Yeah. Even so, he's only got one new player to work with. That squad needs freshening up. So, if they're a serious club, they would have made more signings.
Yeah. No, I've been saying it for quite a while that I think Arsenal is better built for the Champions League. Saka's more experienced now. I don't think all those mistakes that we've made in the past in the Champions League, I think the players
we're not getting embarrassed anymore, which is a massive plus.
No, the players are going to learn from. I mean, I'll give you an example. PSG in the semi-final, the first five minutes and that where they scored. I'm hoping that we're not going to make the same mistake again if we get.
Yeah, it's like we were still high off the Madrid win, and
I'm hoping we're not. I'm hoping, and still high off the Real Madrid game, and we kind of got a little bit. I think we've learned from all of that.
We thought what we had to do is turn up. Let's
we thought it was in that category.
And we beat them earlier on.
And we'll win the game.
Yeah, and we beat them earlier on in the competition, and I think we just. So I think all of these little things now we're more experienced with, and as I said, I'm really excited about the Champions League this season. Not more than the Premiership. That'd be me wrong. I am excited about the Premiership. But
DJB, I've got something for you as well.
Go on.
We will be facing an English side somehow in the competition.
It'd be Spurs.
It could be in the playoffs. It could be in the last 16.
That, man. We're going straight through. No playoff stuff for us.
No, I won't go for the playoffs, but I stand to be corrected. If any of the English clubs get to the playoffs, and they win their playoff, they got no country protection. So it's highly likely that there'll be a all Premiership clash.
Give me anyone but Liverpool from the English side.
In the last 16. But in the quarterfinals and probably semi-finals, you're 150% guaranteed with the amount of teams we've got. And the fact that a lot of them are strong, it wouldn't surprise me if we face an English team in the quarterfinals and semi-finals. If we get there,
you can clip this Arsenal Liverpool final. How about that?
I don't know if my heart can take that, man.
What you mean in Hungary?
Do you know who's up? He plays for Sweden, but he's of Hungarian descent.
Listen, I'm hoping in the stars. That's come as a shock to the whole, pretty much the whole of the Streamland that I've
actually. Don't rule it out. Do not rule it out.
I hope you're right. I need to be in a final.
This competition.
Someone said, "Check, that's not AI."
This competition is right for an English club to win it. If an English club does not win a Champions League this season, with the amount of teams they're in, when they're in a stronger league, and they're stronger athletically than their cousins in Europe, I'll be stunned if an English club doesn't win the Champions League this season.
Yeah, I'll be shocked if with all them teams in it. Look, well, yeah, but realistically, I can't see Spurs getting near it.
Because they haven't signed anyone. There's no evidence.
I agree with you.
You never know, though, man. Who's trust beating Madrid with Marino up front?
They don't sign no one. Forget them.
Bit of tongue in cheek. I mean, I did say Arsenal Liverpool final, but realistically, getting back to the point, I just think there's more chance of us doing well in the Champions League. I can't see us winning the Premiership. I really can't. And that I hate to say it and turn the positive into a negative, but I can't. If I was to put money on something, it'd be the Champions League. I'd like to think that we're not going to kind of bin the domestic cups.
We can't do that. We ain't earned that.
We will. Trust me.
We haven't earned. We will. I know we will, but we haven't earned the right to do that. And I'd like to see this team win something. This team needs a day out at Wembley. They need to change. They need to experience a cup final. They really.
Everything's geared towards winning, but actually winning, even down to the name of the dog. So we need to now prove it to ourselves because I need to be proven wrong if I'm honest.
Yeah, DG, don't get this wrong. I think if all things fail, I mean, he gets a Carabao Cup and he gets the League Cup, I think the doubters, the opposers, like myself, we will still have reservations as a manager. But if you were to ask us, in the interest of fairness, would you give him another shot?
It's kind of bought that last chance saloon type thing.
We may be 50-50 because at the end of the day, trophies do bring feel-good factor to the football club. Fans do love a day out. They love memories. Wembley's fans forget all the things. Like, for instance, look at the Lionesses. Now, I'm sorry, I hate to be horrible, but they were shit throughout the whole competition. Sorry for any lads, any women watching the show, and any.
Got to go over the line, though, man. Jose Mourinho.
But they were absolute shit.
Finals crap as well from both sides.
Spain were the better side, but Spain couldn't finish their dinner, and England won on penalties. England, you know what it got England through? Mindset and like athleticism and belief and refusing to lose, because they didn't win it on skill, and that's what I'm trying to say is that. But
we need
you
a bit of that.
One boy was all over the place. They're like the Golden Girls, or they're like Charlie's Angels. These girls, you know what I mean? Whilst now you think about if we won a trophy for the first time in 6 years, I think you could send it to Sky Sports. You want SLD? I was going to call you LSD again, SLD, but. I know. I
didn't even say that as well. Don't listen to SLD. He's a troll of the
threw me over. I said that the Lionesses were shit.
He gets you every
street. Say that, but they found a way to win a title. And I'm just saying, with Arsenal, it's all about the free-goal factor.
Yeah,
getting over the line.
It'll be because what will happen is that people have gone up to me, DJB, and Lee Gunn and said, "Well, if he wins a trophy, what are you going to say?" And we all said, "Yeah, we win a trophy. We'll give him probably another year." So we've got to be true to our word then.
Yeah.
But what we really want is the Champions League and the league and the Premiership. I want the Premiership more than the Champions League. For obvious reasons.
No, I want the Champions League. But in all fairness, I'm different. I'm not one for getting kind of. I'm not one for cup saving manager's job because I look long term.
Yeah, I hear.
I can't have this manager winning a cup this season and then going another 5 years and win nothing.
So for you, DJB, if he doesn't get the major trophies, you need to.
I don't think he's. I still don't. I think a Carabao Cup is similar to sort of take away league position is similar to Ange Postecoglou. Just because he's won a cup, it's not going to save him his job because
he needs it for you. He needs to bring
because I'm looking long term. I'm looking long term. I think we're at the stage now. With the players we've got and everything else to be a force to do similar to what.
Yeah, we're selling ourselves short, man. We're flirting with it.
To do what Man City have done. I wouldn't give him a pass if he won a trophy.
Yeah, I hate you saying, but you know it is with Arsenal. When you think about it. Like in football, like when it comes to World Cups and European Championships, every team's got a golden generation.
Mm.
Spain had a golden generation.
I know where you're
England
going with this, and I hope he wasn't, but it's true.
Portugal had a golden generation from 91 onwards.
Yeah.
But the thing is that when you have your golden generation, other countries gonna have their golden generation. You know what I mean?
So you need to seize the present.
So you got to have a bit more about yourself. Now, a lot of people think this, but when you look at the embers of the Wenger reign, and you look at the fact that in ordinary never got a chance, and there was complete anarchy at the football club, there are some Arsenal fans who see what we have now is a kind of a goldenish generation, similar to Pochettino at Spurs when he had those really good teams, but they couldn't get over the line. Because Man City
exactly, and football's cruel. Postecoglou is a bigger legend at Spurs than Pochettino. Not a better manager, a bigger legend. Football's cruel. You need to get over the line.
You look at us. You look at Arsenal. We've got a better team than we've had for a long, long time.
Yeah,
but Liverpool have just won a title. Man City have dominated for a long time. So within what people
we've
feel
had 3 golden years recently.
We've got 2 massive obstacles to beat, and one of the reasons why we're upset with Mikel Arteta is because
I'll be real. He made us dream again. We're competitive against the top 6. We're decent in the champs. We're not over the line.
There's nothing with dreaming, but the fact is, when you look at his reign, when he first got a job, when we were getting smashed during lockdown, and I wanted him out even before then, and I haven't changed my mind about wanting him replaced. The fact is that it's his ability to win the big games, which decides whether you can win a trophy or not. And I think that's where I have my reservations, and that's why I still think that we're the third favourites. However, if he was to win the league against these 2 teams, as strong as they are, I think that'd be a massive achievement. And I still think that'd be a big achievement in the Champions League. Although I admit the Champions League.
Come on, Kenny, man. I was with you until I heard the Champions League comment.
I hear you. I respect you for. You know why I respect you for that? Because I get it. I get the fact that a club of our size should have a star. Have a star here.
Kenny, sorry to cut you, but let me ask you this year. If you're Saka, let's just say, however old he is now, to the end of his year, we just zing. I mean, to the end of his years in a footballing perspective, we just zing forward. Would you rather win a Prem with Arsenal or a Champs? Because surely if you win the Champs, you're going to hire him.
I know you're going this because Saka plays with Jude Bellingham, who's got a Champions League medal. He plays with Phil Foden in England, who's got a Champions League medal. You know, he plays with Jordan Henderson, who's got a Champions League medal.
People seen Arsenal win a Prem. You lot have seen more titles than me. And I've seen a couple. You've seen us win anything in Europe?
I hear you. But he also plays with these players, and they've won. Jordan Henderson's won the league. You know,
he's won both. To be fair, yeah.
Phil Foden's got about multiple league titles, so it's the same thing. That when he goes on England duty, he will see players who won the domestic league and the Champions League.
I just believe World Cup, Champs, everything else.
I think the Premiership holds more weight for me personally because
it's what you do on a weekly basis. Yeah.
You think if we won the Premier League this season, where Liverpool have got EZE amongst their strong lineup, and we win the Premiership against that Liverpool side and against
but we went second for a couple of years. You could argue we're closer to that Champions League semis at best.
You can't take anything away from Arsenal Football Club. You can't you can't say that it was because Liverpool weren't good enough. They got blood. They spent about.
You know what they'll say, Kenny? It's about time.
It's about time. I know what you're saying, but I'm just saying that would be a great achievement winning the Champions League for me, where I expect an English club to win it next season.
I hear that, and I hear your point as well, yeah. And that, I do understand the rhetoric with Premier League is harder to win. There's literally more games. It's all fun and games being up for the bigger games. Obviously, where you look at us, it's been against the smaller teams where maybe we're not quite up for it. But the Champs, it's just, for me, it's like, bro, you just got to get it done. It doesn't matter by hook or by crook. You just got to get it done. It's not about being the best team. It's just get it done, innit? Like, that's it. How many times have we seen Real Madrid not necessarily be the best team in the competition?
Jalen's asked a good question. Jalen's asked a question.
This one. Do you think this squad is capable of winning both? What, both in 1 year?
Well, squad is, the manager's not.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so.
The squad is, the manager's not.
I don't think so. Because what if we got a big must-win game on a Tuesday, Wednesday in the champs, and then Anfield away on Saturday, Sunday? Do you back us to cope with that?
Let me turn that question around, right? People were saying that we had a good squad last year. We finished 2 points behind Man City the season before. 2 points behind Man City, right? And with a squad of players that people were saying, oh, yeah, this team's unbelievable, best football I've ever seen, right? What signings then have we made this season that's kind of smashes all the doors down, that's different from the squads we've had in previous seasons?
If anything, too, if that, for me, it'd be Zubimendi.
The simple answer to that question is he had the opportunity to win the Premiership and the Champions League last season, and he didn't do it. He had the opportunity to win the Premiership and the Champions League the season before. He didn't do it. So what makes you think he's capable of doing both this season? Quite simple. The squad he's not.
I think what's happening is that
I hear that.
You know, I think to win the Champions League and the Premiership, you have to basically have a squad of players who can come in and play. I think, and then obviously it's the quality as well. The quality. You know,
Norgard replacing Rice in a big game.
But the thing about it, DJB, we are going to get injuries next season.
Exactly.
Well, and Norgard's going to play games, and I think, and you know, Zubimendi, there's going to be certain games in the Premiership where you're going to think, you're going to worry about Zubimendi. Whilst in the Champions League, I think he's there for the Champions League. The problem Arteta's got, whether it's good enough or not, every Arsenal fan, although they will take a trophy, they're only going to accept the Champions League and the Premiership. So
that's the only way you shut up everybody.
We'll have to find a way. We'll have to find a way to compete on both sides. Have to find a way, you know, and a lot of that is to do with rotating players, where we have to rotate them or not, and being prepared for injury, being prepared for the intensity of those games. If we're not prepared for what we now know is just a solid Champions League, a competitive Champions League, then it's more for us. I just think that the squad itself, if we could get EZE, that would excite a lot of fans. That would give us that opportunity to think, you know what, we're playing a competitive game in the Premier League. Then on a Wednesday and Tuesday, we've got a competitive Champions League. For the first time, you can actually, for the first time, we can actually go down a manager's throat with evidence and say, look, you can rotate here now. You don't have to play this player, and you've got some quality there now. You know, Odegaard's got a bit of a knock. He's a bit out of form. Come on, you can actually say that. But at the moment, you still got a situation where we're relying heavily on Saka and Odegaard for creativity. Still,
exactly,
that's a problem.
That's why I need my manager to be a bit random, evolve tactics, and be a bit. For me, it's more in-game management with Mikel Arteta. Like, I do think the ball needs to be moved quicker. We need to create from central areas. I think there's a lot, but for me, it's just when things have gone wrong, or those sink or swim moments where I'm like, oh, what's going on here? I do think there was elements of that in the second leg against PSG, 1,000,000% against Newcastle, and several times. These are the small things that are messing us up. And actually, Zubimendi kind of touched on it when he gave an interview in the Athletic. He's like, Arsenal have been good. It's about the, but they're never on the right side of the fine margins or something of that, and that is where I need it to be, man. Norgard and Marino can handle a majority of Premier League teams we face. I hope you're right, because for me, kind of going back to what DJB said a bit earlier about if Rice and Zubimendi are injured, I'm not saying I'm happy with it. Kai is going back in midfield for me if them two are out.
The word majority.
Marino's getting overrun. He looks better in midfield when he starts up front, and I like Marino.
It's not about handling the majority. We've got to handle every single game. We can't handle just the majority. We've got to handle every single game.
Every game's got something on it.
This is the pressure. Every game's got something on it. We can't just we can't rely on Norgard and Marino handling the majority of the game when we haven't won.
It's not fair to them.
What I'm trying to say is, right, where's the evidence that Norgard handled big games in the past.
He used to 38 games. Is he used to 50, 60?
No disrespects. He's played for Brentford. And Brentford's done a fantastic job, and I've got all the respect in the world for Brentford for what they've done and the football manager, and I'm glad he got a big job because he deserves it. However, where's he handled Champions League knockout?
Nah, he has. Yeah, but I think the thing with Norgard, I don't know, mate. I can't speak with Jalen. Jalen is in the chat a lot, so he'll elaborate on his point about Norgard and Marino. I think the thing is that for their countries, they have played they have been amongst big game situations. Obviously, Marino with the Euros last year came on and changed the game against Germany. And Norgard was he playing for Denmark in that semi-final against England in 2020 Euros? I think in terms of for their countries, there has been that they have played that sort of pressure game, and I think obviously you look at Norgard, he's been virtually an ever present, barring injury, for Brentford. So I suppose
looks like he's still learning the system as well.
And Marino as well. Marino, I think his second season program. You think that in his second season, he will sort of be able to understand the demands that are needed to actually do well, play in our league, and then transfer his game to a slower pace, which is a Champions League, and I think that's probably what Jalen means. But obviously, I can't speak with Jalen. One thing we'll say is that at the moment, when you look at Zubimendi and Norgard, it's a numbers thing. It's a numbers thing. It's about keeping fit men there. We're not quite like Man City and Liverpool, where the quality gap is really small at the moment. When you talk about Marino and Norgard compared to Rice and Zubimendi, the quality gap is a bit too wide for our liking.
See, but what I can't understand, right, is that no one would have had Norgard down at the start of the season, even in respect of where you've seen him play at the start of the season, as I'll tell you what the player we should go and get. We should go and get Norgard. He's a brilliant replacement. Why didn't we go and get Adam Wharton from Crystal Palace if we wanted to make a statement?
Yeah, it's going to pretty penny.
If you wanted a backup player, someone that's going to come in and challenge and be a real quality player, why didn't we go and get Adam Wharton from Crystal Palace?
Good point.
Why are we messing around? Why are we getting? No disrespect to Norgard. Listen, I'm not saying he's a crap player. I'm not saying he's a terrible player, but he's not an Arsenal player. He's not the player I'm looking at to take us to the next level.
I think it is.
Go and get an Adam Wharton.
You have to hope when called upon, he just does his thing. Simple as that.
But Berta, this is what I call Berta open goal. Berta, he's seen a situation where the player, he's looked at the business, the cheap, looked at the fact he's got experience, and he's got him, and he says, right, this guy will be happy to fight for his place, i.e., spend a bit more time on the bench that he's used to because he's coming to Arsenal. I think the thing I see what you mean by Adam Wharton, because that's a massive package. It's going to cost us an arm and a leg. But one thing about Adam Norton is that any club that comes in for him,
I mean, you sign like Adam Wharton. I mean, what I'm trying to say is when you haven't won anything, and when we're talking about Champions League, we've been talking about Champions League finals and winning premierships. These are the signings that we should have been making. These are the players we should be bringing in. These are the players that are going to rip up trees and challenge players that in our first 11 for their places. Man, you have like Adam Wharton coming in. No, I'd rather both Norgard or Adam Wharton. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. All of a sudden, Norgard. Oh yeah, I watched him play against so-and-so, and how comes Thomas Frank didn't take him to Spurs then? He was captain at Brentford.
No, but DJB, you're right, because that's one thing that annoys me. Like, Norgard's clearly a decent player, but I don't like how, if you asked a month or 2 months or 3 months before Norgard was a thing, people say he's all right. But it's like once he signs for Arsenal, they find positives that are not there. He's just a player.
Let me tell you something now.
Berta we trust, man.
Berta is just as culpable as Arteta when it comes to these signings. That a lot of people were saying this hasn't got his fingerprints. This is his fingerprints. This is his signing. That Madueke signing reeks of Berta.
No, that's Arteta,
It's
man.
Berta.
That's
Let me
Arteta,
tell you.
man.
Yes, it was Berta. It was just as much Berta as
The mouthpieces of Arsenal. They go in the athletic. Arteta's pushed for it and spoke
Look,
with him last year.
You know full well that I am motivation and manager, and I'll batter him when these people. I'm not going to batter him about this. Where the way I look at it, the way I look at it is that this guy with surplus requirements at Chelsea. He's still an international. My saying is that this guy was offered to us, and Berta took the bait and went to the manager with this. They're both in it. They both got their. They're both in it
regardless, because you both signed up on it regardless of it.
But the thing is, I'm not saying right that I'm not saying right. Have a go at Berta and not thinking.
Berta, he wants to rip up Gabriel Jesus' contract. Wants to bring him back.
I hear you, and that's good. And that's part of his job. But you know, there are a lot of things that he's part of. Nothing's changed. We're still signing Chelsea players. He hasn't changed any of that. He's got an opinion on that. Don't you think it's a bit of coincidence that, you know, that we got Kepa, since he's been here? I know we always get Chelsea players. I'm just saying that.
I agree with the open goal thing for that, because I think Arteta and him would have liked Kepa.
The reason why I say Berta's part of this as well, it's an open goal signing. It's an open goal.
I agree with the Kepa one.
I reckon Arteta was desperate to get back up for Saka, and
don't get me wrong.
He's dying for Madueke, man.
At 52 million, Doug.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's Chelsea.
Marino, Kai Havertz, this one. He wanted that, man.
Yeah.
We backed them regardless, but he wanted that.
I mean, listen,
wanted that.
I think the approach was made by our good friends from the district line, on the district line, and we had a look at it, and both parties, both Mikel and Nick Andrea, thought they've got to go.
Can I just say it was tongue in cheek, Dio, 10 boy Dio. That I said Arsenal. I said it was Arsenal Liverpool Champions League final. It was tongue in cheek.
He's toxic positive now, man.
Realistically, I said that we've got a better chance. We've got a better chance of winning the Champions League than we have the Premiership. If I was a betting man. However, I still think that we're going to be short of winning any trophy next season, because he's going to bin the FA Cup.
He's going to bin the Carabao Cup. Yeah, but can you actually rule it out though? You think about it, right? If anyone told you, if anyone told you on the 1st of August 2018 that in 9 months, in about 10 months' time, to that exact day, Liverpool and Spurs will be contesting the Champions League final in Real Madrid, so Atletico Madrid's new stadium. You would have thought you would have thought any person predicted that be mad. Stranger things have happened. You've got 6 teams in the Champions League.
Yeah.
There is going to be a game. There is going to be a situation where two English sides will play each other.
See, the thing is, right? It's when fans just turn around. We will get to this, and we.
See, I'm not on that. Yeah, you're just saying it bare times.
It's when fans make that assumption, and they're so that way. We will win the Premiership. We will win this. We will win that. Where is the evidence?
That's what I was just about to say. That I want to just show us something.
Show me the evidence of this football.
Show the reasoning behind your thinking.
Having the ability in big games, in-game management, in semi-finals, Premiership run-ins, having to get results at certain stadiums to get into the Champions League. When we went to Tottenham Hotspur, and then when we went to St James's Park, and we blew that, and we ended up 5th or 6th, right? Show me the evidence where you can turn around and say, we will win this and we will win that. Because this manager, whether you like it or not, there is more evidence of failing than there is success, because coming second and semi-finals is not success. So what I'm trying to say is there's too much evidence for this manager in big games. He has
Prove
to
the world
change.
wrong, man. Prove you're not just a good team, you're a winning team.
I think the problem is as well with Arteta is he has to take accountability, and he doesn't take accountability. He does not hold his hands up and say, I got it wrong. I got it wrong. I got this wrong. I got that wrong. He will always spin it whereby it's this, it's that. And I hear about injuries and everything else. It's got to stop. All teams get injuries. It's part of the risk assessment before the football season starts.
Part of the game.
It's part of the game. All teams will have injuries. Every team that starts the season will factor in injuries. They will plan for the worst case scenario,
including us as well. Yeah,
including Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, West Ham.
And if
Spurs,
you don't bring in people, you're saying you got enough.
In Brighton, they will all plan for the worst case scenario. It's called a risk assessment. Every company does it, right? They'll all plan for injuries. They'll all plan for red cards. They'll all plan for certain positions to be where players are being injured. They plan for it. And this is what I'm trying to say. He knew there was going to be injuries. He knew there was going to be suspensions. I mean, Will toured at Manchester when we won the league at Old Trafford.
What did I say on the stream earlier today, folks? For those of you there, just what DJB said there echoes it. What did I say?
Yeah, but I say no more. You don't win by making excuses. You don't get any winners by excuses. You only get.
And that's the thing. It's like we everybody here can understand injuries. This happened, so that happened, and we done all of this. But at the same time, as much as we can sit here and speak about context and nuances and stuff in sport, that's one conversation. There now is an element of regardless, you have to get it done. And the last 3 years, there's been times no one's been injured, one injury, bunch of injuries. We finished second. So we're sniffing at it. Why we're not getting over the line, I can't tell you, but something needs to change in that regards. It's either you win or you make excuses.
It's quality. I think it's just quality. And it's those sort of big moments, when the expectations are very high. We haven't been able to do it. Villa 2024, expectations very high. PSG, the expectations were extremely high in terms of because what we did to Real Madrid, we were the underdogs, even though, the part of our right eye was thinking, you know what, this is not really a top Man United side, and they are beatable. But at that time, we didn't know whether Saka's going to play. We were worried about a striker thing, but we went there and smashed them. And I think that gave, when a result like that should give you confidence, but what that result gave was overconfidence. And you could feel it. You can feel the overconfidence from the fan base. You can feel the overconfidence probably from the players.
Yeah.
And then they taken by surprise by PSG because they didn't bank on PSG's work rate and their willingness to work.
They thought we was going to give them the culture shock, but they were prepared for what the British teams were doing. And to be fair, they're the only European team that stood up to that. I feel in a lot of the competitions.
Every team, Liverpool got a shock of their lives, and they didn't recover from it in the game at Anfield. And we got a shock of our lives. And let's face it, we try to shot them, and who knows if we put one of those chances in the back of the net. But when PSG weathered the storm, the game was a mismatch. It was so easy.
Even before the game, Zhao never says you can press as much as we want. We're prepared for that. We back ourselves. Forget it.
And that's the thing. Next season, you're gonna have to have the quality's got to be better. The quality's got to be better in midfield, and you're gonna have to someone else other than Saka is gonna have to be that game changer because
you can't carry anyone, man.
No.
The only game changer we've got is still Saka. Until proven otherwise.
Yeah, until Gyokeres comes in and he might be a game changer. But again, you got to play the right system for him to
Can't forget the man who scored, 2 free kicks against.
But see, listen. I mean, listen. It's all about getting the job done. And what worries me is we keep coming back to the same conversation every single summer. Every summer, every time the season ends, we come back to the same conversation. Got to get the job done. Got to get over the line. Why didn't we do this? Why didn't we do that? Why didn't we do that? Pure and simple. It's the manager has got to do it. We've got the quality now. We've got players in certain areas that people are going on about. There are players. There's still areas that are weak. I think the left back is a big problem.
Oh, thank you. I've been saying we need one.
If Skelly gets injured, there's a massive problem.
We haven't got one.
Well, right. Let me put a point in it.
38 to 60 games.
Whose fault is it that Tierney got disrespected and got completely outcast of this football club?
It was manager made a footballing decision.
This is way before Berta came to the team. This is way before Berta came.
I just need another left back, right? Because we're in trouble there. Timber might go over there, God forbid.
We get rid of the only player that's won trophies. An out left back who, by the way, is one of the best crossers of the ball that Gyokeres would absolutely love.
Yeah.
We let him go on a free. And now we've got Skelly, who's a midfield player, by the way. As much as people want to say, oh, he's a left back. No, he's not. He's a midfield player.
Yeah.
And he was left back by default because of injuries. So now we've got Skelly and brainwashed him of being a left back, and he's not. And he's going to get found out next season. Right?
God forbid. No, you can't find that MLS.
And now you've got Calafiori, which is the next Tomiyasu.
I love him, but he needs to stay fit, man. And you're throwing Gabriel Magalhaes as well.
Calafiori, the next Tomiyasu. Who else we got? Sinchenko.
Well, Sinchenko.
So now we've got no left back, and we've got a left-sided midfield player that's fallen off of a cliff, Martinelli, that should have been sold and should still be sold. So the left-hand side's still a problem, but that's all right.
That's why I think Zing might stay, man.
That's all right. Gyokeres is coming and he's going to fix everything. Everything.
Well, you're going to need Kivio to do a job out there if it gets to that.
I hear what you're saying. The thing about it, right, is that Sinchenko is a difficult player to shift. You know, everything's there for him. He loves living in London. You know, he's comfortable with what his salary. He's going to be a player with a shift, but you know that is the situation where this is where Berta's got to do his work.
Being linked with Fulham as well. I wonder if they pull the trigger on him.
You know what impressed me most about Berta? I didn't care about Gyokeres. It was actually dealing with Tomiyasu. That was the best.
No time for sentiment. Yeah,
that's the best thing he ever did. And as much as obviously a midfielder, obviously number 5, Thomas Partey, I was impressed how he dealt with that, because he dealt with it. Even though I was a fan of the way he played, I was impressed with his ruthlessness. Those impressed me more, because I think our situation is we've got a lot of dead wood here, and we don't know how to get rid of them, and 2, how to get the best money for him. That's where I think.
Yeah, we don't make enough money.
That's where I think. This is where I'm looking at Berta. I'm thinking, you know what? If you could get good money for some of these players, move them on so we can get better quality in, I'll respect him more for that than getting players in, because I do think that our main problem at Arsenal, apart from getting good quality players in, is getting the deadwood out.
They keep the spoiled milk in the fridge for some reason.
Our assets, and that's where I think he's got his work cut out. But the 2 things he's done that's impressed me. I was very impressed how he got rid of Tomiyasu. I was extremely impressed in how he stood up to Thomas Partey's demands, even though I think that I wanted it to stay.
Sesko's as well.
I was impressed by that up to a point, but he wasn't exactly he wasn't exactly this forthright when it came to a play he wanted. He didn't want Sesko so he could be forthright. He wanted Gyokeres. He played a long game. Just saying. But what impressed me most about Berta, and what will impress me, is the business, the other side, the other end of the line. And
that's clearly the mandate of the Cronkies as well, really, because I do think last season, while we was all in, okay, we finished 2 points or whatever behind City, you do X, Y, Z, in which we did fuck it up. I do think there was a remit to sell and try and do about that, and I do think that's here this year for everything that you both said. So it'd be interesting, man. Like, I think when Arteta and Edu started, give or take, there was a lot of mess they inherited. I did think we quote unquote kind of cleaned it up. And now we're kind of back in there, really. How you get this money, I don't know. But there is that. And we all said it the last time we was here, is like, we get Gyokeres. we know our club, there's going to be a bit of there'll be links, but there'll be a bit of radio silence with the EZEs or Liaos or whoever he's been linked with. And the focus will, rightly so, or the media will start kind of honing in on exits. Like, Zinchenko's been linked with Fulham, as has Reece Nelson. Fabio Vieira's linked with West Ham. I think that's about it where incomings or imminent outgoing, is concerned. But we need to get people, like, we're paying too much money to people that are not really part of the squad. Gabriel Jesus we're hearing everything. Trossard, 1 minute you're going here, there, and everywhere. I do think we need to shift these people on if we are to get Eze and a bit more. I don't know though.
Yeah, but this is what it boils down to, because it's just a vicious circle that goes round and round and round. You know, you've just said it there, DG, and that's down to bad recruitment and bad management in the past. That's why we've got all these players in the club that we can't get rid of. And if you put wages into that, if you put this crazy wages that they're on in that, then it makes it even worse. I mean, you got to remember, people are saying about Gyokeres and they don't want to see Havertz, and Havertz is going to be a squad player. Havertz is on 280 grand a week. Squad player.
You throw in Jesus' wage, you throw at the moment Zinchenko
This is what I'm saying. You can't gloss it. The bottom line is, when Arteta and Edu was in charge of recruitment, they messed it up big time. And now we're suffering because we can't get players out the door. We can't get players out the door. And this is what I'm saying. But
Martinelli, Havertz, Odegaard wants
back to the balance of the team. If our right-hand side is locked down, we've still got a major problem. And bringing Eze in to play on the left is not going to solve that problem. He's not left.
You know what, DJB, you actually segued into a very important point. And I think this is where this is a season where the enigma that is Kai Havertz is going to cause a lot of discourse within the fan base.
We've been saying all the time, Kenny, haven't we? You've gone on his sword with Havertz.
I think this season more than any other season, because you are stocked up in midfield with the respect that you got.
Yeah, but that's Arteta's guy, though, man.
Yeah. Let me land. And then what's happened is that you've got a left-sided midfielder in terms of like Marino, regardless of what you think of his abilities. You stocked up in midfield. You've gone and got a striker who potentially is going to score goals like never before. We hope and pray. So team selection is going to be very interesting. Don't listen to SLDs being
the SLD. Come on, man, be serious.
Yeah, but in terms of like Kai Havertz, anyhow he's fitting into this team is going to cause nuclear missiles.
He's got a role to play, but Arteta can't force him in the side.
Yeah. But the fact is, he is seen as a player who is tactically important by Mikel Arteta, and this is what Uncle Clive says. You know, Clive Palmer. Though I think the other way is tactically disruptive, but the Kai Havertz question is going to be make or break this manager. Because it will make or break him, because you can't play 12 players in a side. You can only play 11. What do you do with Kai Havertz?
Yeah.
And that's why I don't want to see start him. Obviously, if your form's out of this world and you're doing great, and you will have a role to play, but I don't want to see you forced into the side. I do think that some of our fans have kind of put Kai, and I don't think Kai's the answer, but I do think people have been, when I accept him for what he is, he's done okay, even though he shouldn't be here. I do think people put him in the same kind of category, some as Rice and Saka and this one. I'm like, oh, what are we talking about? We look at our strongest team. Does he go up front or in midfield? No.
Yeah, but you are putting him there because of the manager's insistence.
Yeah, no, that's what Arteta is doing.
And playing him. The fact is that the state of play up until like the end of May and probably in the pre-season, Kai Havertz is still an important player for this guy, and he's still a player that he wants to start football matches. So where do we go? Where do we go with this?
You've only got to listen to You've only got to listen to Arteta's post-match interviews when the way he talks about Kai Havertz and the way he expresses his feelings about Kai Havertz. Oh yeah, very important player for me, and he does things that other players don't do and stuff like that.
He's really intelligent off the ball in that.
Yeah. It's an intelligence, but when me and Kenny's been saying about Kai Havertz is he's a very integral part of the way Arteta wants to play. And now you've got Gyokeres in the team. That integral part of the way he likes to play with Havertz in it is going to cause a problem.
But this is his learning curve now. You're going to have to.
The biggest worry for a lot of Arsenal fans is this manager has never experienced team selections. This is what I'm saying. Because he's never managed anywhere else, he's now got a problem with all these players, Max Diamonds, Gyokeres, Saka, Gyokeres, Zubimendi, Eze coming in, people like this. He's now got a different type of problem that he's never experienced. What system do he play? Who does he not play? Who does he play? When does he play?
The same system. Put the real guys up front.
Do you know what I mean? Because he's been used to getting up, picking the same 11, Saka on the right, Martinelli on the left, Havertz down the middle, ain't a problem. Now all of a sudden he's like, where am I fitting Kai Havertz in? Where am I fitting Kai Havertz in? And I keep saying it, and we've said it in the past. Do not be surprised if he doesn't put Gyokeres on the left, Havertz down the middle, and don't.
Havertz will play. Havertz will feature.
No, we're going to need Havertz for a year at the least. I'm with that, but don't force him into the line.
You say that, but the fact is that there's sometimes when you have like selection issues, it's excellent. It's good for a manager to have selection issues. To be honest, that's just wordsmiths. Actually, the manager doesn't want selection issues. He just wants an easy life. But fans like selection problems because it shows you that there's quality players who you think can get it on. But this is one selection issue that I don't think fans will approve of. They're now in a situation where
some fans think Havertz is better than Gyokeres anyways.
Yeah, maybe we've got because let's get it right. Even if we got Sesko in a side, Havertz would still be an issue, even though Sesko, is more suited to we think.
And let's be honest, Kai, like he's thrown his hat on Kai. 65 million.
Trouble is though, Kenny, it would have been an easier issue for Arteta if he'd have got Sesko. It would have been an easier sort of situation for him to get his head around. Whereas now the pressure to play Gyokeres in his right position every single game. But
this is what I mean. The romance, though, like we have to kill that. Better slap him up there.
This Gyokeres, to a lot of Arsenal fans, is the biggest signing since Ozil, Aubameyang, Alexis Sanchez.
Probably since Declan Rice, to be fair.
Does a midfielder really excite you?
Even bigger than Declan Rice.
Really excite you as much as a striker?
No, not in theory, but Declan Rice excited me. It's Rice.
Declan Rice excited me. But
you're not excited about Gyokeres anyways, Kenny. Obviously, you do this once.
No. But what I'm saying is so fans are expected Gyokeres to start every single game in the right position and everything else, and that's going to filter down to the manager. The manager knows that the fans are going to demand that Gyokeres starts every game and
World Cup year as well.
So he's going to have that pressure on him. If he doesn't play Gyokeres and he plays Havertz, straight away the fans are going to go, "Hang on, what are you doing? This is madness."
It's a possibility, though. It's a possibility because
this is what's going to happen. This is why you've got to get your head around how this manager operates with Havertz. He's going to try and get him in the team at some point because he ain't going to drop his captain.
I'm feeling mischievous. I'm feeling really mischievous now. This is a scenario I have in 2 weeks' time. Gyokeres wouldn't be quite fit. He had a bit of knock. He's had a knock in training, so that's why he's started against Man United, and that's why he won't start against Leeds. You know this is coming.
God forbid someone get the holy water.
Kenny.
It's what managers do.
This is what this manager does. He's very good at it. He's very good at spin. He's very, very good at getting
Mikel Merino up top.
What you want to believe. He will
Havertz up top.
He will go with that.
Havertz.
I just prefer Merino, man.
Well, Merino, I don't want Havertz.
I don't want either up there, really. Personally, I want Gyokeres.
I don't want Havertz anywhere near the squad. We're
going to need him for a year, man. I know how you feel, but we're going to need him at least for a year. At the very least, there might be games. The first 10 games we dominate. 11th he comes off the bench and
£300 a week, and nearly £300 a week. Damn right, we're going to need him because you're not paying that money for him to sit on the bench.
No, exactly. This is what I'm saying. That's another thing, Kenny, isn't it? Why he's going to get him in the team. This is another thing. Yeah. These owners are not going to want to see 280 grand sitting on the bench every week. So it's going to be difficult for the manager, but this is what he's getting paid £15 million for.
However you do it, it needs to. If that's what you want to do, I might not agree with it. If you win a major trophy, no one gives a monkeys, myself included. You need to make everything work. Everything has to make sense. You need to get over the line, man.
You know one thing about it, right, is that in all, like I said, with all the predictions, I'm sure in about 2 weeks' time we're gonna have a show and DG's going to ask us, what's your predictions for the league title? Who finishes in the top 3? Who gets relegated? Who's going to get in?
I can say that now. It's Liverpool, and then it's between everyone else.
Say it with 2 weeks' time.
You don't think Liverpool finished 4th like some Arsenal fans?
You're going mad.
What I'm saying is,
Salah's too old.
What I'm trying to say is that with all these predictions,
Salah keeps getting them out. They're in trouble.
Of where Arsenal are going to finish, where other clubs are going to finish, we are going to get injuries. Kai Havertz is going to be needed because I can't see any player playing the requisite games. I think Arsenal are going to need to win a trophy, 60 games. I can't see one player playing all 60 games except for Raya.
This is why I need a left back. This is why I think Kai has a part to play.
So Kai Havertz will play games, and Gyokeres will not play all those 60 games. What he needs,
Saka will, if he stays fit. Saka will play most of the games. Rice will play most of the games.
Get a serious injury.
Yeah, Rice for sure.
You'll have more injuries. Honestly, you will see more injuries with this football team. Saka will play the majority of the games. Rice will play the majority of the games. Zubimendi will probably play the majority of the games. That will be his 3. Saliba, another one. They'll play pretty much every single game.
We just need to be cute and clever with our defense, man. Like Timber, White, Gabriel Magalhaes, Saliba. We need to be cute and clever with these lot, man.
Well, yeah, all those names you've mentioned, when you mentioned that, look, I think that's the thing. Injuries are going to happen. Let's be honest. Injuries are going to happen. It could, God forbid, it's an impact injury. I'd rather a muscle injury than an impact injury, because an impact injury, that's career threatening. So I don't want any players even to get injured. But the thing about it is that we've got the numbers now. We've got the experience. I'm not saying we've got the quality, we've got the experience.
We've got enough learned experiences over the last 3 years as well.
There should be no excuses now for us going in a game thinking, this guy ain't playing, I'll be out for a draw. No. Tough luck now. You're in the last chance saloon. As I said, this is the year you do your GCSEs, the semester, the school year where you do your GCSEs and do your what I would say your A levels. This is that year where everything's on it. Every bit of homework you do is going to lead you to getting that mark for your A level. Every assignment you do is going to lead you to getting that mark for your GCSEs. That's how we've got to look at it. This is the final year. This is exam year at Arsenal Football Club.
What could be the excuses, though? Seriously, if we don't win anything, what excuses can be used now?
To be honest,
everything you've seen last year, man.
No, seriously. Whether you absolutely adore and worship the ground Arteta walks on, right? If we don't win anything next season, that has to be, you have to then turn around and say, we need a change. I can't think of any reason why you would keep this football manager if we don't win anything next season. I can't think of a reason. I'm sorry.
He's on a 15 million a year deal.
Footballing logic will say that we'll just say it's handshake time. It's like a golden handshake where we just have to get someone.
You get Champions League, you're not under no pressure, man.
I'm shocked that he's going into another season. I
was as well because
shocked that he's still here. I thought last season was the pinnacle. I thought if he doesn't win anything last season, same question as what I'm asking now. I thought that last season was his final season if he doesn't win anything. I am absolutely shocked. I am absolutely shocked that he's going into another season,
you know what?
and he's had more money to spend. And so what would keep this manager next season if we don't win anything? I'm struggling to think.
Well, but I've told you though what will happen. It doesn't. People like me, you, Lee, Jez, Northside, Dan, Cobb, Yardman. We're not going to get him a sack because everyone thinks it's just them. They're just noisy. They're mouthy geezers. It's what is going to change their minds is if there's opposition in the ground and if people get on their mobile phones and phone 606, talk sport, and go on Sky Sports and actually say what they think and say.
Nah, that ain't getting him gone, man. As long as you get Champions League football, you're good.
But the fact is I think this is bigger than that now. I think what's happened is the noise is really loud. And
I hear that, Kenny. But remember the start of. I know it's not the same, but there's been darker times. Like they'll probably we survived all of that.
The thing with darker times, right, is that sometimes
you'd have to really crash out of stuff. God forbid.
But you know what? The thing about it is that expectations sometimes are just as like problematic as the darker times, because with the darker times you don't care no more. You're just apathetic because it's so shit. Oh, Arsenal shit. I don't want. I'll just go to the pub and I'll go and meet DG and we'll just have a pint at the game. We'll have a chat at half time. We don't care whether the game's going on. We'll come.
No, but Kenny, it's even come out from the club. I can't remember, but they said that already. Like internally, they don't feel the same way we would do.
I think that's dark times when you don't care, and that will get you to say. But expectations are too high now. The noise
externally, but are they shared internally?
Yeah, but a lot of managers had credit in the bank, didn't they? Darker times. What darker times we talking about? The Arsenal.
Do you remember when the Emirates was properly toxic? There was also times where Arteta probably could have, should have, and other contexts would have been sacked. We've all seen the All or Nothing. We've all been at the games. You two being season ticket holders. If you can survive all of that, you're getting us quarters and semis. You're making money. As much as there might be some people that want Arteta gone, there is people that not necessarily want him, because I think they're like honest. There's Arteta sexuals. It's not going to. I said this to you lot before. I genuinely believe, God forbid, if we fast forward to the end of next season and we've got 2 semi-finals, a second place finish, and 2 semi-finals, second place finish, and we went out of the FA Cup in the same vein the 2 previous years. I'm not saying fans won't be up in arms. There won't be pressure. The media won't be doing anything. I don't think we're gonna he will get sacked, because you have to rip up that contract and pay out his coaches. You have to bring in the next guy. I'm exaggerating, but what if the next manager says, you know what, I don't want Declan Rice, I don't want this, and we all know how it goes with a new squad being built. I think generally, as long as you get Champions League football, it's all calm. I genuinely think that.
You know what will happen. What will happen if we get Champions League football, and people say again, then if you don't deal with the expectations and you don't act now, then something much worse is going to happen. Is that it's going to be worse than darker times. You're going to have the apathy, people not caring. The atmosphere is going to go down. People are going to think, right, we're not going to go and buy stuff in the shops, stuff that.
Nah, they're always going to do that. New side and everyone's on it.
Obviously, you got the tourist fans and everything else, but the fact is that you may have fans who think, you know what, rather than you chuck us out because we missed a few games, we're going to say, well, stuff your season and throw it away. And don't get me wrong, we know you're going to replace us. We know you're going to replace us, but if enough people just think, no, I'm not having this, I've had enough, and then they go around and set up podcasts and say, I left, I stopped going to Arsenal because the club ain't listening to me anymore. And too many people do that, and then they go onto the media and do that.
Arms on seats. That's what got Emery going.
I think that is a tipping edge. Now, I'm not calling for anarchy. I'm just saying as it is. There will be anarchy next season if we don't win nothing. Be warned.
There will be, 100%.
I can't say I feel the same way, man.
There will be. I mean, the thing is, as I said,
players down tools maybe, but I don't want them to down. I don't want it to get to that situation.
If the fans down tools, it's just as bad, because you want the fans to be like up there. Because, for instance, Ben's got a question: what position do I see Ranieri playing the most next season, in Odegaard's role or in the ring. It'll be definitely in the Odegaard role, and obviously he will still look at him in the Arteta in the Saka position, and not because he thinks he's going to work there, but he's going to want him to be able to have that experience of working harder off the ball and be able to see danger. And I suppose when you play on the right hand side, it's like there's things, you have the overlap and overloads, and I think that's how he's going to want him to learn his game. But I think his best position, without a shadow of doubt, will be in the Odegaard position, because who knows, we may not even sign EZE, so we're going to need him even more. And that's where he's got to grow up, footballing wise. Grow up, not as a person, but footballing wise. Get there because there's opportunities for him. We're going to need.
It's not about being good anymore. Lay down a marker.
Exactly, that's what I mean. He's got to grow up footballing wise.
I think see, I remember Emil Smith Rowe was sold a dream when he signed a contract. When Emil Smith Rowe signed for this football club and he signed another contract, he was sold a dream. He was told that he was going to have an important part to play. He was an important player for the squad. And look where Emil Smith Rowe ended up. He ended up on loan, and he ended up eventually being sold. I think if EZE comes in, that's when Yeri going out on loan. Simple as that. How are you going to put Yeri in this team when a manager didn't trust him last season with minutes? He's not going to get above Saka. He's not going to get above. Yeah. He's not going to get above Havertz. He's not going to get above Odegaard. He ain't going to get above EZE. And as much as everyone gasses up Yeri, who is a brilliant player, and I love him to pieces, and I'm glad he signed a contract, realistically, where's he going to get minutes under this manager at this football club? He ain't going to get it. He's been sold a dream. He's been sold a dream, and I think he'll go out on loan. That's where
you left that one thing as well. You left that one thing.
Go on, mate.
And I mentioned at the beginning of the show, and Lee Gunner has been pulled up for talking about it. The clamour for a 15-year-old. Max Dowman is another one. Give it another year or two. That's another person who's pushing for that spot to be only got
exactly. So and
you got Yeri sitting aside. You remember we had the sort of like situation with Eddie and Balogun.
Yeah,
Dowman and Yeri.
Dowman and Yeri. So
yeah, but them two are shit though, man. These lot are actually good.
Listen, this is what you've got to realise. I mean, Kenny just reminded me. I reeled off the four obvious ones there, and then you got Max Dowman that the fan base is like, think he's the next sort of homecoming of a Dennis Bergkamp, and so Yeri, realistically, whether you like it or not, has been sold a dream. It's Emil Smith Rowe all over again, and that's what's going to end up. Yeri ain't going to get much game time, and I reckon within 1 season, 2 seasons, he'll end up being sold. That's it. That's my view on Yeri. Unfortunately,
I totally agree with you. I think that's the thing with a lot of young players who are at a big club. If they're not pushing for the first team in probably their second season, then they've got to be concerns. I mean, you have to look at what's happening with Elliott at Liverpool.
Yeah,
he still is. He's been there for about 4 years and he still hasn't broken down the door.
Been on the peripheral.
He hasn't even been able to pick the lock. He hasn't even been able to use his credit card to get in through the front door. But
exactly. I mean, Elliott could end up at West Ham.
If he wants first in football, then you got to get out of Liverpool and go there.
Exactly. And Yeri's going to eventually get to a position where he's been sold. As I said, he's signed a new contract, but eventually he's now going to then. And they've all got agents and everything else. He eventually will be sat down and go, look, realistically, how many more seasons do you still want at this football club? As great it is and as loyal you want to be, he's going to be eventually sat down and say, how long do you still want to be at this football club? Because at the end of the day, there's players coming in above you. You got Max Dowman now knocking at the door.
Be interesting to see what we do in midfield, man, because Havertz, Marino, Norgard, I can't say you're going to be in the next 2 years. if I just think Arteta needs to throw a hat on Nwaneri and say, you know what, you've got 5 or so games. Don't worry if you've played good, bad, shit. Just by the end of it, make sure that I can have complete confidence with you. But the double-edged sword of that is, obviously, as we spoke about at the beginning, every game is a must-win, yada, yada, yada. If he looks back this time next year and he ain't played enough, you do need to go on loan. But I'm quietly confident about Nwaneri now, you know. I'll be real.
Well,
but he has to want it now.
I think he should get loads of minutes. I think he should get his opportunity. But
like last year, we should have.
Realistically, I can't see it. I think he's too far down the pecking order to get any games.
It's a pressure that managers under pressure to get results, and the lads under pressure to think. You know,
and it's easier to shut up the teenagers as well. Let's be honest. Whether the players are good or not.
I always say the positive thing about this is that his mate has managed not to. He didn't even like come through the front door. He picked the lock. He picked the lock with the credit card, and look at him now. He's picked the lock with the credit card, and he's England's left back at the moment, and he's Arsenal left back. So why can't Ethan do it?
It's not a left back, Kenny. Yeah, but I know what you mean.
Left back, but he's got a place where he is one of the first 11. The same thing I say to Ethan. Here's my credit card. Go and pick that lock.
Yeah. But the only thing I would say on that, though, is Nwaneri has got more competition in his position than what Skelly has at left back. Skelly at left back has got Zinchenko. Tierney now has gone. Calafiore, well...
That's the thing.
And being a centre mid helped him because you invert as well.
I mean, and he's got Tommy Fiore, isn't he? Tommy Fiore. You know, so like
I need Calla to stay fit this year. I like him, man.
SLD's got a very good point. SLD's got a good point that Miles Lewis-Skelly's got to have one eye open for his England position because the other day, for some reason, Luke Shaw always seems to turn up at a tournament where
only time we see him play.
Yeah, and then he's injured for the rest of the season at Man United. I mean,
I
don't know what it is, buddy. I don't know what sort of injuries. I personally think that he needs to go on a Weight Watchers diet or something.
You don't care about Bruno no more.
He's one of the most overrated players I've ever seen in my life, Luke Shaw.
Well, I tell you, he's one of the fattest players I've ever seen in my life.
He's also one of the most overrated.
Don't
players.
Laugh. You've seen his spread. He's got. He does. I've never. He always plays like he's got a derby.
He ain't got no motivation, man. Cashed out already.
Listen, I hate to say it, and I say it on my channel. We've got the disaster last minute loan signing to come in yet, guys, before the window shuts.
God
you know,
Arsenal.
You know we love a loan sign, don't you? You know we love a loan sign.
You know
we trust, man. He ain't doing that anymore.
You got your deadline day disaster to come yet. Don't worry about that.
Who knows? Rodrigo on loan with an obligation.
Should we get some wings and just put them on Berta's back the way you're going about him?
In Berta we trust, man. Can you be happy? Berta's changing stuff. You're just a Berta hater. Like, hating on the guy.
I don't like Berta. I think he's done a
No, DJB's good. Kenny won't give the guy credit.
I think he's great, but what I'm trying to say is that calm down.
The two young players you've been talking about, new deals, Magalhaes, Gyokeres.
Berta will do an even better job if it all goes waff come Christmas and he gets a new manager lined up in January and he goes to the owners.
He's already had a better transfer window than last year, man.
The manager's had all this.
I've got a story for you. I've actually got a story for you.
Let's go pay Zidane 20 million.
And this is a very true story. You know the Carling Cup final when we got smashed by Man City. I was with my mate Afsal. And we're in you know that hotel, the Hilton, Wembley Hilton.
Yeah.
I was upstairs in Wembley Hilton. Afsal said, "Ken, I want you to meet someone." And guess who I met? Sven Michelin. Remember when he was working in the club? So
yeah.
And basically, I said to him, I said, "Look, what are you doing? Who are you getting in?" He said, "We're looking for a box-to-box midfielder." I said, "Any chance to get a new manager?" He says, "Oh no. I'm not here to. I'm only here to get players, not new managers." He started laughing. And it's a true story. It's an actual true story.
Honestly,
Carling Cup final Wembley. I met Sven Michelin.
I'll tell you, man. I'll tell you, it'd be interesting to see where we are come Christmas.
Hopefully, it's flying. Hopefully. Fingers, toes, everything crossed, man.
You see, you know what is DJB? The Champions League. The Champions League doesn't get decided till the end of January. This because we got 8 games.
Yeah.
And let's just assume we get nowhere. Like there's no injuries. There's nothing going into December, January.
What happens if we're sitting like 5th or 6th come Christmas?
God forbid. God forbid.
What happens? What happens? Does it matter?
What type of fixture?
I definitely don't feel we'll sack Arteta anyways. I definitely don't think mid-season they'll sack him.
I'll tell you what it will be, right? If we're sitting 5th or 6th.
I've met Arteta. SLD, I've met Arteta. I've met him. I've met him when he was a manager. I met him on my birthday. We were staying in Hilton Hotel. My wife just made a fuss of me because it was my 50th birthday. So all the family, children, niece, everyone was there, sister-in-law. And I found out in the Hilton Hotel in Islington, Arsenal was staying there. But they didn't tell me till I got, because they wanted to say we got a convoy, a party of loads of people staying over. And I thought it was the Leicester City team. And I said, but we're not allowed to tell anyone that they're there. And then I basically got the dog, went for a walk. We brought the dog. I don't know why we've done that. Anyway, got the dog, went for a walk, and in the hotel. And then what's happened is I was coming out, and these guys thought I was an Arsenal representative because I had my Arsenal badge on, my Arsenal coat, tracksuit on. I said, "Oh yeah, are you with Arsenal?" I went, "What do you mean I'm with Arsenal? I'm a fan." He went, "The Arsenal players." I said, "Don't be stupid. There's a convoy there." Then in the lift, my one of my daughters came out to me and went, "There's this guy who's playing. I think it's Lacazette. He's in the lift with us." So I went, "What's the silliness?" I come out, and all the players are coming out. I see like Ramsdale. I told him that he forgot his gloves, so I told him off for getting his gloves. And then Lacazette, I spoke to him a bit in French. Then Mikel came along. I said hello, and he went. I said, I just said something in Spanish to him, and he went, "Oh, hello, thank you."
I know what you said to him, Kenny. Get out of my.
Well, he wasn't rude because he said hello to me. So all these people say you hate Mikel Arteta. I've met him.
You're scared.
It's not hate though, is it? It's not a hate.
I toweled over him, by the way. I tied over him. He saw. I was wearing like one of those sort of like tight t-shirts, and my shoulders were showing. So he had to be nice to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Kenny the celeb, man.
Exactly.
Oh, but yeah, people, man. We've been here for like 2 hours. I don't want to take up the man's time anymore. Let people know they can find you lot, man. DJB.
Yeah, the Arsenal Huddle, DJB, the Arsenal Huddle. Come along, join in
the description and title.
All respect, all opinions, all views, all fans are welcome. And respect. We keep it clean and we keep it real, man. It's all good. And
Kenny,
I'm on Instagram at KennyKen1972, and I'm on Dan's show tomorrow. And I'm watching the Arsenal game because I'm going to be on Chris Calling's very good Tottenham Hotspur show, Tottenham Fan TV show. So I'm on the podcast at 5:30 tomorrow. One thing I'm going to leave you with, and seeing a lot of people in the chat, I'm like the Marmite in the chat. I'm going to leave you with this, and I hope it goes around your head and you throw darts at me. But guess what? You'll miss because you always do. A world-class player has to produce this kind of numbers that Gareth Bale produced in his last season at Spurs and produces at Real Madrid. And I'll leave with you at that. See you next week. Let's go.
Oh, mate. 100%, people.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
I don't want to hear that. Once it gets to the world-class chat, we're out, people. Man.
And I'm going to leave you with, come on, you Gunners. One thing we've all got in common, no matter what our views are, just do the right thing, get us over the line, and let's win some trophies. That's all. That's
a way better message than what Kenny was saying, man.
And I'll leave you with this. Just to back my friend Kenny, Saka's not world class just yet.
Yeah, we're gone now, people. We're out for sure. He definitely is. We're out.